I address my comments today to any defenders of the dolphin drive hunt, which occurs annually in Taiji, Japan, and which is occurring right now as I speak. This dolphin drive hunt, which supplies captive live dolphins to the various dolphinariums throughout the world. Defenders of Taiji, speak to the world. We are listening and watching as yet another pod of dolphins is being prepared for their doom. Forgive us our ignorance, for we truly don't understand. We are told that this is tradition, but we are confused. Whaling, yes. Fishing for dolphin fish, what we understand the Japanese call sirak. Yes, each of these are definitely traditions in your or in the Japanese culture as well as other cultures. But the dolphin drive hunt, or airuka as the Japanese refer to the dolphin, airuka drive hunt, as it is carried out? No. Part of our confusion arises from the words used by the Taiji Prefecture and the Wakayama Prefecture when they attempt to defend this practice as being a tradition. They use terms such as dolphin fishery, dolphin fishermen, and fishing industry when responding to critical video footage and writings made by those whom they call aggressive foreign animal protection organizations. They say that they regard the dolphin fishery to be one of the significant fishery industries in the southern part of their prefecture. Hence our confusion. Dolphins are not fish. They are mammals. Could the spokesperson for the Wakayama Prefecture be confusing the dolphin fish, or sirak, with the airuka, or dolphin? Does the Wakayama Prefecture consider those words, sirak and airuka, to be close enough to have no problem with including the two as one? Dolphin fish, or sirak fishing, is a tradition. Airuka hunting may have been an offshoot of whaling, but to the best of my knowledge, it was never a tradition. Certainly not the systematic capture of live dolphins, unless you consider a practice that was started by your father or grandfather at most to be a tradition. We will be watching as those brave fishermen wade amongst those panicked and terrified dolphins, wresting babies from their mothers as trainers give a nod to this one or that one. We'll be watching as those chosen for a life of captivity are then forcibly taken away by their kidnappers. We'll be watching as these fishermen change role from kidnapper to killer. We'll be watching as they slaughter the remainder of the kidnapped victim's family. And we'll also be watching as any rejected kidnapped victims may be found. Young babies and youngsters not wanted for anything because of a deficiency in their looks or not considered meaty enough to warrant the effort of slaughter. As these are netted and then hauled into the skiffs, taken back out to the sea by your brave fishermen, and we'll be watching as these helpless victims are then taken out and dumped miles from shore, with no adults to protect or guide them. And all the time we'll be wondering, is this what you're defending as a tradition? I'd like you to close your eyes and imagine for a moment, if you can, you're part of a close-knit family, 15 or more in number, consisting of grandparents, father, mother, 2 or 3 aunts, uncle, sister, an older brother, and yourself, the youngest, barely able to walk and just learning to talk. All of you have been blindfolded and driven with some unseen but painful, never before experienced force into a small, terrifying place from which there seems to be no escape. You heard the panic and terror in your fellow family members' voices as they were all being herded into this unknown place from which their family sought to escape but could not. And you listened as your brother and sister were forcibly taken from your mother, who was trying desperately but unable to save them. You listened, terror-stricken, as something then terrible happened to your family members one by one. You didn't understand what had happened, but you did hear the words, hurt so much, pain, and killing. What's killing? Before that member's voice lapsed into moans and then gradually grew silent. You heard the panic and terror in the remaining members of your family as this was repeated one by one, until finally there was nothing but a horrible, terrifying silence. Then suddenly you were grabbed and put into one of those boats, covered over with tarpaulin so that you could not see. Unknown to you, you were being covered over so that the world could not see you. And then taken in this dark, by this boat, far out to sea, where the tarp was removed, and then you were dumped back into the ocean. The boat left, and gradually you came to realize that your world had ended. Earlier today you cavorted and rubbed up against your mother, chatted and baby talked with your brother and other members of the family, did all the things that young babies do, safe in the bosom of their family. Just a few hours later, here you are, alone and afraid, nobody to help or to protect you, alone as you cry for your mummy and for the life that is no more. How long do you suppose that this lonely baby will survive before it's killed by a predator, or dies of starvation, or simply becomes too weak to swim anymore and drowns? Which of these deaths would you wish upon a baby in someone's family that you know? And what part of tradition that you can accept is this? So, defenders of Taiji, please tell us now, having time to think, How did this annual slaughter and kidnappings come to be? Tell us about this tradition. How long ago did your ancestors hunt dolphins, not whales? Tell us those tales that must have been handed down by your grandfathers. No, not the tales about the whale hunts, nor the tales of the dolphin fishing. I'm speaking of the herding of dolphins into that cove in Taiji, wresting babies from their mothers and family, slaughtering all but the occasional baby who is deemed too small, so then was thoughtlessly dumped far out at sea to die a lonely death by means unknown. The Wakayama Prefecture says that this is tradition. Can you think that they just might be wrong? And that it just might be wrong to defend what is happening in Taiji right now? Should you be asking for a stop to be put to this cruel kidnapping rather than trying to defend it? You may accept the murder of the Iruka if it is done for the purpose of feeding your fellow countrymen and is being done humanely. But should we accept the inhumane slaughter or the kidnappings and subsequent life imprisonment inflicted upon these live youngsters? Can we accept hauling babies far out to sea and then leaving them to die alone, unable to fend for themselves because they are so young? Even if we can accept this as being a tradition, even though the deliberate and systematic capture of live dolphins can be confirmed through simple searches of the internet to have begun only a mere 45 years or less ago, can we support the continuance of this practice, knowing now what we do as to the barbaric and immoral cruelties that are an integral part of this tradition? That is the question, defenders of Taiji, that you must answer in the privacy of your own mind. I do not assume it to be my duty, nor my role, to tell you what to do. I only feel it my duty to at least try to start your independent thinking and to ask that you do your own unbiased, thorough research for the truth. A very famous and intelligent person once said, "Those who have the privilege to know have the duty to act." I'd like to paraphrase that question. I think I'm doing it fairly. Those who have the privilege to know what is right from what is wrong have the duty to make an effort to correct the wrong. Please, search your minds and come up with the truth.